The rain-soaked streets glistened under the city lights as 8 glamorous women waited at the grand glass doors. But the man they were here for didn't even glance their way. Instead, his gaze locked on a young woman in a faded delivery jacket, clutching a paper bag, and a sleeping child. Ethan Voss had been called many things: visionary, tycoon, prodigy. His face graced the covers of business magazines. His name was whispered in boardrooms. Tonight, he stood at the entrance of the grandest gala of the year, where 8 of the world's most celebrated models stood waiting, their smiles rehearsed, their gowns shimmering under the chandeliers. The crowd expected him to choose one, a sponsor's stunt, a headline waiting to be written. But Ethan's eyes didn't linger on them. They drifted past the flash of cameras, past the practiced elegance, to a woman dripping from the rain, standing awkwardly at the edge of the marble steps. Her delivery jacket was worn thin, her shoes soaked. A paper bag clutched in her hands trembled, not from the cold, but from the weight of exhaustion. And in the crook of her arm, a small boy slept, his cheek pressed against her shoulder, oblivious to the luxury surrounding them. For a moment, the world hushed in Ethan's mind. He didn't know her name, but something in her face, that quiet endurance, that unshaken composure, despite standing where she clearly didn't belong, pulled him in. Her name was Maya. Once, she'd been a promising medical student, filled with dreams of healing lives. But life had rewritten her path in cruel ink. Her fiancé, a young soldier, never returned from deployment. A folded flag and a letter that smelled faintly of dust and gunpowder were all she had left. Bills mounted, her scholarship vanished, and when her son was born, every waking hour became a battle, delivering parcels by day, working at a small diner by night. She moved through the city like a shadow, unnoticed by the glittering world around her. If this story touched you, tell us where you're watching from and share your thoughts. Remember, silent strength can change the course of any room it enters. For more stories that honor true resilience, subscribe and never miss the moments that truly matter. But Maya carried herself with a kind of grace that didn't need a spotlight. She had mastered the art of silence, the kind that spoke louder than words. Inside the gala, whispers spread. Why isn't he choosing? Who's that woman? The 8 models exchanged glances, their smiles tightening. Cameras shifted focus, lenses searching for the reason the most eligible bachelor in the city was ignoring the spectacle arranged for him. Ethan stepped forward, his polished shoes echoing on the marble. He didn't address the models. Instead, he walked past them, through the murmuring crowd, until he stood before Maya. Her eyes lifted, cautious, ready for another dismissal or sharp word from the wealthy. But Ethan didn't speak immediately. He simply removed his coat and draped it over her shoulders. "You look like you've been carrying the world, and I don't think anyone has thanked you for it." The crowd was still. No one dared interrupt. Maya's lips parted, unsure how to respond. She wasn't here for attention. She just wanted to deliver the late-night order and get home before her son woke in the cold. But Ethan reached into his pocket, took the receipt she held, and signed it. Not just a signature, but an amount so large it made her blink twice. And then he spoke a line that would echo across social media by morning. "Elegance isn't in the dress. It's in the soul that refuses to break." Maya didn't linger. She thanked him quietly and walked back into the rain, the boy still asleep in her arms. But when she turned at the corner, she saw him still standing there, watching, not as a man who pitied her, but as one who recognized strength when he saw it. By morning, photos of the moment flooded the internet. The 8 models faded into the background of every shot. All eyes were on the woman in the delivery jacket and the man who had walked away from the spotlight to meet her in the shadows. Some stories don't end with a fairy tale romance, but with something deeper. The quiet acknowledgement that worth is not measured in beauty or wealth, but in the battles no one sees. As the narrator's voice might whisper to the viewer, sometimes the most powerful people are not the ones in the spotlight, but the ones who can walk past it without needing to be seen.